Hi, I'm Doris Chung, and my leap was I inherited the family business and I ran with it. Welcome to Leap. My name is Cherene Francis, and today we have Doris Chung with us, who I'm really excited to interview today. So welcome her to the show.
So excited to be here.
I'm glad to have you. So you inherited this business. Apparently it's multi-generation. How many generations?
3 generations.
Yeah, wow. So you're the third generation.
I am the 3rd generation.
So tell us more about this business. What do you do and what is this business that you inherited?
So my grandfather started a printing company in Hong Kong over 65 years ago.
Wow.
And my father and his brothers took over and ran the business. And my company in Toronto, we are the Canadian sales rep for that company. And we've been printing for publishers around the world for the last 65 years.
Wow. Do you have any siblings?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Actually, my generation, we are actually 16 grandkids. And I am one of 2 in the industry.
Yeah.
But my cousin who does this works for a competitor.
So here it is in your lap. You have this pretty much 65-year-old company, and you ran with it. That's exciting. Tell us how that, getting your feet wet for the first time, running that business was for you.
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
It really wasn't like a real jumping in.
Yeah.
This process of working for the family actually started at an age that probably isn't legal.
Oh, right.
My father had his own printing company in
Yes.
Toronto,
Yes.
and I did a summer job there.
Yeah.
I was probably 12.
Yes.
And so I'm not just working in the office.
Yeah.
I worked like in the back where
Yeah.
we actually print and finish and bind and everything. I know how it all works.
Wow.
Complete hands-on.
Yeah. Wow. So then you started at a very young age. Here you are, 12 years old, in the background, getting your hands in the business. And so when was it the time that you actually took over to lead it? At what age was that?
Oh, that was actually, I took over just after I came back from maternity leave with my daughter. So that's now 13 years ago.
Wow.
So prior to that, I was working with my mom in the business.
Yeah.
Went on maternity leave, came back, and she took care of my daughter while I took over the business.
Wow. And how was that, going in and as a mother, and finally it's yours? What was that like for you?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I felt very comfortable with my mom taking care of my daughter and having that flexibility of being a business owner and having that ability to kind of be there for my daughter.
Yeah.
Especially because I'm a single mom.
Yeah.
So having that flexibility is very important. And I'd say in terms of taking over the business, it was just slowly having the opportunity to kind of expand, and it really was that expansion that was more exciting than just running the company.
Yeah. And so you and I know you do a lot of things with the company, from photography to graphic design. Like, what types of things do you and the company produce?
So we actually, my business originally is just book printing.
Oh, it started just with books and printing.
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
And I found that in addition to the Canadian publishers who I've been printing for all these years, I had a few self-published. I wouldn't just call them self-published authors. They were photographers, artists who, in essence, were self-publishing before the trend of self-publishing has started.
Right, right.
And where I kind of took the business further was, I'd say, how long has it been? At least 10, 15 years that people are now kind of foregoing the traditional publishing and just kind of publishing themselves, and they're writing all these like subject matter expert books and so forth. And so what I found was they're writing the books, but they have no production knowledge.
Right, right.
And that's where I kind of brought in my experience and my educational background. So I went to school for photography and graphic design.
Yeah.
So I now am able to offer my clients production.
Yes.
In addition to the manufacturing, which is the printing.
And you came in at a really good time, because as you said, this is when there's more of a boom in, I guess, personal branding, people coming in with their own books and expertise and courses and all that wonderful. So that's amazing. And what was that like, expanding the business? I know, inheriting the business from a very young age, it's kind of like, here you go and work the business. What was that like? Did you ever have a period where you were like, no, I don't want to do this? Or what was that like?
I don't think I even thought about it. It was a job that I had that I knew very well, and I can tell you that in my late 20s, I actually left the company and said to my father, I need to know what it's like to work for somebody else.
Yeah.
So I left for a few years to experience that. And then it gave me the ability to come back and really understand this is how you work with other people. And because it's not, sometimes working for the family, there is either the most difficult job you could ever have, or they're really nice to you.
Yeah.
So you just need that kind of comparison. And if my world was only working for family, you don't know.
Right. And so what did you venture off to do while you were testing the grass on the other side?
I did very different stuff.
Yeah.
I worked in a makeup school as a school administrator.
Okay.
And I did some retail, but the other one was during the .com boom. I worked in this, what's more common now, but I was in a co-working short-term lease office as their office administrator.
So you're there as an office administrator, and when was it like, I'm going to go back to take over my family business? How did that happen now?
To be totally honest, my dad called me up and said, you need to come back. I need your help. And what do? You can't say no to the man who gave you everything and allowed you the opportunity to go to school and study what you want to study, which, not a lot of parents will let their kids study the arts, right? Because that's not a career,
Yeah.
It really is like you do a profession or you don't do a profession kind of thing. So yeah.
And we were talking backstage about this. So there was this thing where you kind of didn't really give thought to whether this was for you. Can you tell us more about what was happening in that period of your life?
For sure. Like basically my family retired.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
And it was the moment when the last member of the family retired from the company. And I turned to my father and said, what's happening? What's next? And he said, you have no obligation to be here anymore. You can do whatever it is that you want. And that was probably the most, you think that, I don't know what you would think that experience would be like, but it was nothing what I imagined.
Yeah.
I was anxious and scared and relieved and mostly scared.
Yeah.
And I thought back about, there's a book called What Color's Your Parachute?
Yeah.
And I'm like, maybe I should be reading that book.
Yeah.
You've just been handed, being handed the family business was, part of the acceptance of it was more obligation.
Yeah.
You're being handed the baton or carrying the torch and this legacy that your grandfather started.
Yeah.
Right? And so it wasn't that I felt it was a burden. It was just, like, it's just kind of like when my father called me back.
Yeah.
And now I've been set free.
Yeah.
So the question is, do you continue? And that's when we met,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And that's when I kind of realized this is the time to truly explore, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Do I want to do this?
Yeah.
And was this meant for me? Because that's a lot of years to have been doing it. You know, like you kind of do things out of habit. You know, like you can get kind of like, I'm really good at it.
Yeah.
And I do love it.
Yeah.
Spend some time exploring that.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that I definitely like it. And there's parts of it that I love. But it's not my all.
Yeah, so I mean that was really profound how you had to literally step back and see if this was for you, and you know, if you were really going to be able to make this your own. And then from there you truly leaped. Can you tell us what that was in terms of fusing, you know, your love and your passion for this business, but yet adding your identity and your own personal spin on it? What was that like?
I think what it was more the how you look at it, right? How I looked at what it was that I did.
Right.
And what I realized was that I was helping my clients get published and have that book. And it was really helping them. It wasn't really the printing or the publishing. It was that I made their dreams come true.
Right. Wow.
And that's what I needed to really understand. Because before, it was just the job, right?
Yeah.
It was task-oriented, hit a deadline, deliver, you know, things like that. But now it's to really kind of drive my passion. I had to really look deep and kind of say, what am I giving back? What is my role in this world? What is it that I'm doing?
Wow, that's incredible. And so now you're getting to the heart of the business. Now the business has your emotional heart behind it. And so with that added in, you were able to do incredible things. So now that you have embraced this family business and you're taking it to the next level, what are you doing now in business?
Now I have started a new venture.
Yeah.
And still working with the same type of clients.
Yeah.
But I'm doing a little bit more business to B2C.
Yeah.
And I'm developing products.
Amazing. What kind of products?
Right now we're starting off with customized planners. So what I found was a lot of people have these planners that they buy and they love, but it's not quite right. In this day and age, we're all about customization. So there's this new trend called bullet journals.
Okay.
So bullet journals, you take a blank notebook.
Yeah.
And you as the individual are going to draw in the way you want it. But what if you're not artistically inclined?
Yeah.
But you have an appreciation for beautiful things.
Yeah.
So that's where we come in.
Cool. So do we tell you what we want in our journal or our agenda, and then you guys design it, or what is that like?
Right now we're still in the process. So what I've done, here's a prototype.
Yeah.
What I've done is I've kind of come up with some just generic, not generic, I shouldn't say generic, it's not generic, but just formats.
Cool.
So this is like a month view, then there's like the week view where it's Monday to Sunday.
Yeah.
And those are just template prototypes.
Yeah.
And I work with my clients to customize any way they want it. So some of this is based on one of my clients. She had asked she wanted her months, the 12 months to be at the beginning versus having 1 month and then 4 to 5 weeks and then another month.
Amazing.
She wanted it all at the front. She wanted her actual appointment calendar to start at 7 a.m. and end at 10 p.m. So I put it all in. And in bullet journal, for example, they have this thing called future log where, you know, like if you look here, we have a whole, it's right at the back, hang on a second. Sorry. Here, you have your whole month mapped out here, and you could just write the key things. It could be people's birthdays and so forth. But it's just, really, it's endless.
That's really cool because one of the challenges I've had is I want the hourly, plus I want the big calendar, plus I want like a chunk down, and you have to buy them separately. Like,
totally.
And I'm just like, well, I need all of them because
that's right.
My brain thinks in different contexts for different things. So that's amazing that you could have each one customized.
Yeah, any way you want. This is like I said, this was just a prototype that we made.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to see what the options were. We're still actually selecting paper, the finishes. I have a client who asked if she can provide me the weekly quotes and some photographs. So we're going to put personalized photographs in there so that she can look at her family as she goes through her year.
That's so cool. Yeah.
So like imagine you kind of have it all built in.
Yeah.
And she even asked me, well, what if I have regular appointments?
Right.
Regular habits that I want to schedule in. Can you pre-print that?
I know I'm working with you to get my own planner, and I'm really excited because I'm one of the first. So that's going to be exciting to have my own personalized, customized planner. So all that information is going to be on the website. So if you are interested, you can check that out there. Doris, it was a pleasure hearing all about your story, how you managed to take what was a family inherited business into something that's quite more passionate and powerful and inspiring for yourself. So thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Cherene Francis, and I'm the host of the Leap TV show. We're looking for sponsors and advertisers that are looking to get more exposure for their business. Contact us today, and we'll have you as a sponsor or advertiser for our season. Welcome to Leap. My name is Cherene Francis, and today we have Pantea Kalhor, who is the author of Rules of Change for the Better. She puts a new perspective on personal development and personal growth through using colors, rules, and ways that you can take your life experiences and turn them into something much more brilliant. Welcome, Pantea, to the show. Awesome. So thanks for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm really glad to talk about your story and what you're doing and helping people when it comes to change. So you are an agile coach. You're also a change specialist. So when it comes to people transitioning in different parts of their life, you're a great person to come in and step right in and help them do that change. So I'm glad to hear how you can do that with people. But first, what intrigued me about your story was that defining moment that really taught you a lesson, and it was that car hijacking experience. So can you tell us a little bit of what happened? It was a life-threatening situation for you, and how did that change the trajectory of your life?
Yes. Actually, you don't know what's happened in few seconds. You have all your power, you have your confidence, and nothing gonna change your life, nothing gonna shake your world. As I was in June 2003. I had a good job, I had a good life, and I was in positive thinking process. I thought everything gonna be okay, I can overcome everything. But once I had this accident happen, my life totally changed forever.
So can you share what happened in that accident? I think
Yes.
it was a really critical moment in your life where you learned a part of the experience you actually write about in your book.
Yeah. Actually, June 2003. I was out for massage therapy, and I was really happy, very sunny day. But then I had some guts in me that my car is not balanced.
Okay.
And then after finishing the massage therapy, I come back to my car, I had my windows open, and then somebody ran up to me and he said, "Your car is not balanced."
Yeah.
I was like, what is he saying?
Yeah.
Because I had the same feeling.
Yeah.
So he distracted me.
Mm.
And then he had his big knife, like a kitchen knife, and he put it on my throat and he said, "If you talk, I'm gonna kill you."
Okay, so hold on. You're about to go drive your car, and then all of a sudden this guy comes over and says, "Your car is out of balance," but that was just a distraction to attack you?
Yeah, attack me, yeah.
Oh my goodness. So were you in the car when this
Yes,
happened?
I was in a car. I was going to come out of the parking spot, and then he actually threw me.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so what happened after he had threatened you with the knife?
Actually, at that moment, I was really in shock.
Yeah.
Because this accident, you thought is not going to happen for you. It's always for somebody else.
Right.
But when this happened to me, I try to control myself.
Right.
And to control my fear.
Yeah.
And something I want from my bottom of my heart. And I said, okay, I just want to be happy.
Yes.
I just want to be healthy and get rid of this situation.
Yes.
So what happened? He teared down my seat belt.
Yeah.
And threw me out of the car.
Well, thank goodness you're still alive and
but
safe.
My fault was I had a lot of dependency to the car because I just bought it and I wanted to keep it.
Yeah, of
so
course.
I grabbed the handle.
Oh.
So and I dragged on the ground.
So he was driving off and you were holding on to the handle.
Yeah, that was my mistake.
Wow.
Then he sped up, and then I fell down on the ground.
Right.
And I thought something is not right.
Yes.
I had a really bad back injury, and I couldn't do anything. My thought was like stopped.
Wow.
And I could hear people on the background, but I couldn't see anything.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
So here you are, a successful entrepreneur. You're into motivation, personal development, invested in this great car, and then all of a sudden this big bomb just
realize
thrown into your
how
life.
vulnerable you are. Life is like in few seconds.
Right.
You will lose everything.
Yeah.
Your health, your power, your confidence,
Yeah.
and your life gonna be ruined.
Wow. So how did this change the trajectory of your life? What learnings did you get from this?
So at that moment, I felt something in me. I said, okay, let's just focus what's happening.
Yeah.
So I saw him running, and then I visualized him. I told him in my mind that if it's yours, take it. I don't want it.
Yeah.
But I had something like visualization in my mind that if this car is mine, it's gonna get back to me. So when my parents came there and they took me to the hospital, I see my back is not broken.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, whatever it is, it's gonna be recovered. How many months takes is gonna be recovered?
Right.
I'm healthy.
Yeah.
Healthy enough.
Right. Yeah.
You can't believe what happened. 2 days after, he called on my home number.
The attacker?
Yeah, because my cell phone was in the car.
Oh my goodness.
And I had my contact numbers there. And then he called, my mom took the phone because I was like paralyzed.
Yeah.
I couldn't walk, I couldn't sit, I couldn't sleep. I had like few months of pain.
Yes.
And he said, I don't know what your daughter did to me. I can't sell her car. because
Wow.
I always I had this feeling.
Yeah.
I don't want to hate him. So I told myself, I don't want to hate him. I don't want to say bad thing to him.
Right.
If it's him, then take it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
So that's interesting, and you explore these types of different concepts in your book when it comes to coming up against challenges and what to do and how to really maneuver through that.
Yes.
What is the learning and I guess the suggestion or the tips that you were circling around in your book around that piece?
Yeah.
Sorry.
After that moment,
Yeah.
I realized life is too short, and you don't know what's gonna happen in a few seconds.
Yeah.
It's better you appreciate your life. So I said, I'm gonna change my life totally.
Right.
After that moment, I immigrated to Canada. Before Canada, I went to Australia.
Yeah.
So I was in the process of going to Canada, but something very unexpected happened, and I went to Australia.
Yeah.
Then I saw anything, when you start changing yourself, everything's come to you step by step.
Yeah.
Like one change motive in 1 second
Yes.
can trigger your change.
Yes.
But then it's up to you go to that journey or not. And change cannot instantly happen. Whatever happens instantly is change motive.
Can we talk about that a bit? So
Yeah.
the process of change, and you go through these steps in the book
Cycles.
and these cycles in the book. Can you kind of give us a sense of, how change starts, how that and how we maneuver through the
Yeah.
different steps?
As I said, I
Yeah.
don't believe that
Yeah.
you can change your life in 5 seconds. It's impossible. You lose someone, it's impossible you overcome those loss in 5 seconds. You need some time to prepare your mood, to cope your problems, and overcome your fears of loss. And it happened to me too many times.
So how are you helping people now with, going through change in their life?
I have a course actually, which can help them to go through changes practically, because I have a lot of practical guides there. It's easy to use.
Wow.
And it's very helpful.
So is this something that people can go to online and take the course?
Yes.
Awesome.
This is my book, if anybody interested.
Yeah.
Rules of Change for the Better. And you can find it in Amazon. It's there.
Awesome.
So they can see movie trailers there, some description about the book, and if they like, they can actually go and buy it.
Wow, perfect. Well, thanks so much for sharing with us how we can move through change in life. And it was great having you on the show, and thanks for sharing your story, the life-changing stories
Thank you so much.
that you've had.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.